Glue Stick FX here. Today I'm going to show you guys 3 ways of making easy but not very detailed bruises. The first way, you need face paint. I have a custom colored palette here for Bruises, which I've just mixed myself, but you can also just use anything that has blue, purple, yellow, and green in it. The second way, you need something to prime the skin. Either a makeup primer or chapstick is my preferred way. Olive oil, coconut oil, Vaseline, all of those work as well. And then eyeshadow. A lot of eyeshadow. Maybe a bit of blush if you want some redness to the skin, but honestly, you can just use the eyeshadow. So the first way I'm going to show is the face paint way. This is not my preferred method, but if you are going to do this, just start in at the most concentrated impact area of the bruise with purples, blues, and reds. And you're going to want to layer the most color there. And I've sped up the footage here just to get through this a little faster for us all. So you're going to put a lot of color down in one concentrated area, and as you spread out from the blues and purples, you're going to go purple to red, and then out to greens and yellows on the edges if you want it to be a slightly older bruise. A fresher bruise isn't going to have those greens and yellows, it's just going to be the purples, blues, and reds. But the greens and yellows sort of give that cool, healing, semi-rotting, like, disturbed look. So I do like adding a bit of that to the edges. Now, as you can see, the face paint blends really well. I find it's almost a little too well. It's harder to maintain the depth and variety in the wound, but it does end up looking pretty good. So that is an option. This method is my preferred way of doing it, which is to use chapstick or a light primer. Chapstick is what I've been using lately just because I always have it on hand. So if you do go for that, just rub a little bit of chapstick into the skin, and then you get to start going in with your eyeshadow. Now all that priming is just to make sure the eyeshadow sticks to the skin and you get the pigmentation out of it. If you're using a more expensive product, you might not need to do that. But all of my products are from the dollar store. So to get pigment, you sort of have to coax it out of it. Now, as you can see, I'm going with the same basic theory as with the face paint, starting with blues and purples. My purple is a bit darker here, but it's just going to create a more traumatic bruise effect, as it were. So start in with blues and purples and a little bit of green highlighter that I have there. And that creates a nice basic bruise effect. I like to keep going and make it way more outrageous and stuff, but for this step here, I'm going in with a blush around the edges, which is just making it look like this is a very, very recent bruise, like you just got the shit kicked out of you. And as you can see, I'm adding on more and more, spreading out the purple. Now you do want to have that varied. You don't want it to be a just solid lump of purple. So you don't want to be doing sweeping motions with your finger. You can see I did there, but that was just to blend out the blush. You actually do want to be going in with these light dabs and little circular motions because it gives you more variety of texture to the injury. And then the last step that I like to do is go in with a yellow or green highlight, which if you just make little patterns, it actually makes it look like it's swelling. And now you can also use an actual makeup primer like I'm doing here. I really don't like this because I don't know how to work with primer. But you can do it and it works just the same as the chapstick, except for my primer's shimmery, so it ended up looking really shiny. For this, I've decided to go with an older bruise because I've shown you 2 ways of doing fresh bruises already. And with older bruises, I like to go in with a white light shade first, just to make sure I don't apply too much pigment, because old bruises are really dusty. So I go in with a white and then with light browns and only the lightest touch of a purple or a blue. And the yellow. You're going to use a lot of the yellow-green highlight for this. But you can see just a little touch of purple there, and then brown around the edges where your body starts to break down the bruise and the dying blood cells. And the yellow is going to be all around the edges just to make it nice and shiny and look really weird. As you can see, like, none of this is going to be the most realistic looking. If you want to make it look more realistic, you can research and practice and practice and practice. Or you can just throw these on, and most people, when they see a bruise, aren't even going to care at all. They see something that looks like a bruise and they're going to be like, oh my god, what was that? Like, I've literally rubbed chocolate on my face before while I'm at work, and people have been like, oh geez, did you get in a fight? Like, people don't pay that much attention to these things, so if you're going for a beaten up look, it'll look good enough. So as you can see, the 3 ways come out a little differently. The face paint is a bit more sheer, a bit more shiny. If you want or have translucent setting powder, you can use that, but I don't, which means that I just tend to avoid that method entirely. The chapstick is my preferred way. It doesn't leave a shiny residue on the skin. It doesn't affect the eyeshadow. You can use it on your face as well because it's chapstick, it's safe, and it will not affect your skin at all and get the eyeshadow to stick properly. The face paint might shift a little, even though it is intended for faces. And you can see with the primer, it's fine, but there is a lot of glitter around it. Maybe if you have a sheer primer, it would behave differently. I'm not sure. Like I said, I just grab everything from the dollar store. So yeah, that's the basic way of doing 3 bruises that I do. Everyone has their own ways of doing it, and all of those are equally valid. If you guys liked this video, feel free to leave me a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any ideas for things you would like to see in future videos, I do have some stuff that I'm going to be recreating from my Instagram page, which my link is in the description below. But yeah, just let me know if there's anything you guys want to see, and I will see you guys next time.